Another minister has got a serious elevation in the Sunday reshuffle, Ashwini Kumar, but the new cabinet minister has a crucial task at hand. He's got the Lokpal bill, the Judicial Accountability bill, and the need to maintain a balance between the judiciary and the executive. We're talking to key ministers today, and a key man today in the government is Union Law Minister Ashwini Kumar, who has been seen as a quiet and efficient performer, a valuable spokesperson. He's held a variety of ministries in the past, from planning, science and technology, earth sciences. Has a great record as a lawyer. Thank you very much, Ashwini Kumarji, and many, many congratulations on holding the position of Union Law and Justice Minister. It is indeed a very, very big and significant political elevation for you. What does it mean for you in terms of your political career first?
Well, I think the single most important gratification that I have on this appointment is the fact that my leaders, Srimati Sonia Gandhi, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, have reposed great trust in me to deliver on some key and complex issues. I do hope that I will be able to vindicate their trust. I know that there are challenges galore. I know that the task ahead is not easy, but I also know that these difficult questions have to be answered. The process of economic reforms that the government has initiated needs to be given a push by creating the right legal architecture. We also need to push ahead with key anti-corruption legislation, about which we remain steadfastly committed, and a host of fundamental issues, Arnav, which I would like to take half a minute to talk about. India's crowning achievement since independence is our steadfast and consistent adherence to constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy and rule of law are integral. We have seen in the past, in our quest for activism, for sometimes the wrong reasons, we tend to give a go-by to established constitutional and legal procedures. As Law and Justice Minister, I believe it will be my bounden duty to facilitate respect for constitutional culture. That, I think, is a single most important objective that I have set for myself, and to ensure harmony and institutionalized communication between the political executive and the superior judiciary in the country.
That's very important. I actually have a few key questions for all the key ministers. I have three questions for you, Mr. Law Minister, this evening. My first question to you is in the context of the position taken by your predecessor, Salman Khurshid, who had stated in August 2012 that judicial freedom will not be undermined by the Judicial Accountability Bill, but the fact of the matter is that the proposed bill will prohibit judges from making what are seen to be unwarranted comments against the conduct of any constitutional or statutory authority at the time of hearing matters. My question to you, Mr. Ashwini Kumar, is this. Do you also agree with your predecessor that the judiciary needs to be accountable for its quote-unquote unwarranted comments on the executive? Given that this is such a sensitive matter, Mr. Minister, how will you strike a balance between the judiciary and the executive?
Well, let me answer straight away to your first query. We remain totally and irrevocably committed to maintaining, consolidating and advancing the independence of the judiciary. There is no question of diluting that independence in any manner whatsoever. As far as the particular provisions of the bill that you are talking about is concerned, I must confess that I have not looked at it myself so far. I would like to read the exact provisions of the bill and then form a conscious judgment whether we can press ahead with that bill without compromising the independence of the judiciary. Having said that, I do believe that there has to be a right constitutional balance between the three organs of the state, and I think that is what was envisaged originally by the founding fathers. We need to go back to that original spirit where the unbroken power of the sovereign people of India was divided into three organs with parameters of each jurisdiction clearly defined.
Absolutely.
Now, how that can be ensured now is a challenge, but it is a challenge that we have to address in the larger interest of our great democracy.
Which takes me to my next question.
Sure, judiciary and the
which takes me to my next question.
Will be able to do so.
Because the executive and the judiciary, and this question is to you because you are in a very sensitive and important position as Union Law and Justice Minister. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, the executive and the judiciary have always locked for horns over the Lakshman Rekha. Recent cases like the SIT probe into black money, the Salwa Judum case, there are few examples of this. Is your government uncomfortable with a very active judiciary, and hence charges of judicial overreach seem to be making the rounds?
Well, judicial activism, Arnab, as you know as well as I do, is not new in this country. It has been there for the last several years, and I must say that very often the judges' activism has enabled the country to move forward, has enabled us to rectify injustices. But it is equally true that of late there is a feeling in informed circles that sometimes, and that could be exceptional cases, that sometimes there is a perception of trenching by different organs of the state into jurisdictions that are not clearly spelt out for them. Now, I'm not saying that this is the rule. This is not my case. That is why I said we need collectively with the judiciary to sit down and address those issues that have in the past given rise to these suggestions, I would say. My endeavor would be to have the most harmonious and the most constructive engagement with the judiciary so that the purposes of national renewal and larger national objectives are achieved not by conflict or confrontation but by cooperation.
Mr. Kumar, you choose your words so well and so carefully. However, I would request you today to candidly tell me. Earlier this month, former law minister, who has also held that esteemed position where you are, Arun Jaitley, said that there are two kinds of judges. Those who know the law, and the second part I'm sure you heard, those who know the law minister. He also said that pre-retirement judgments are influenced by post-retirement jobs. What do you think of what he said?
Well, I did not read the statement which has been attributed to Mr. Arun Jaitley. He is a senior lawyer and a leader of the opposition. He should know what he's saying. But my personal view is that the qualification for being a judge is for the incumbent judge to know the law. It should not matter whether he knows the law minister or not. All that should matter is that he knows the Constitution, the spirit of the law and the Constitution, and that his compassion and justice, sense of justice, would inform the judge's discharge of his or her duties. And I think by and large, with some exceptions that only qualify the rule, judges do make an honest endeavor to advance the purposes of the Constitution as understood by them.
Ashwini Kumar, I wish you all the very best. It's going to be an interesting term as the law minister of this country. You are in a sensitive post and you have truly risen up the ladder to hold this cabinet position. Congratulations and look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you, Ashwini Kumar. Thank you.